Built 100 years ago, this Edwardian property was home to one of Britain's greatest industrialists. Find out who he was and where I am in just a moment. Today's house hunter can't wait to leave city lights behind her and settle for the serenity of the countryside. Our properties get a good thumbs up.
Imagine waking up to that.
But is she really ready for the reality of rural living?
It's amazing. Very quiet. I'd have to have the radio on.
Today we're in Oxfordshire and this is Nuffield Place on the edge of the Chiltern Hills. Now, in the 1930s, it was home to William Morris, founder of the Morris Motor Car Company. His mass-produced cars made William Morris a multi-millionaire, but he gave much of his wealth away and lived in this relatively modest home. Now, later on in the show, I'll be stepping inside to find out more about this pioneering motorman and his manor. But first, let's hit the road and see what else this attractive county has to offer. Situated in southern England, landlocked Oxfordshire is bordered by 6 counties, including Gloucestershire, Wiltshire and Berkshire. In the south of the county, the chalky Chiltern Hills that dominate are a designated area of outstanding natural beauty, covering 324 square miles across 4 counties. Oxfordshire is home not only to archetypal English meadows and fields, but also the world-famous and prestigious Oxford University, which attracts over 22,000 students from more than 140 countries. Just outside of the city, the honey-coloured Cotswold market town of Woodstock is popular with tourists who visit the nearby splendour of Blenheim Palace, birthplace of Winston Churchill. And in the far southeast of the county, where the Thames forms the border with Berkshire, the riverside town of Henley is famous for its annual Royal Regatta, its high street lined with boutique shops and busy restaurants. Let's not beat about the bush. Oxfordshire is expensive. The average price for a detached home here is £443,000. Now that's a whopping £160,000 above the national figure. Excellent transport connections to London and the Midlands make it a popular choice for commuters. But it's also the classic beauty of the countryside and attractive villages that makes property shopping here an expensive affair. So what is it about Oxfordshire that has so attracted today's buyer to the area? Well, let's meet her and find out. Linda lives by herself in the city of Edinburgh, teaching English to foreign students and running a one-room bed and breakfast from her home. Her daughter Julie, who's a trainee doctor, lives just 10 doors down on the same street.
I moved here about 5 or 6 years ago, and so inevitably we have a very close relationship. Mum's good fun, definitely. She's very emotional. She's certainly very emotional about this move.
Julie's very empathetic. She's very focused and effective.
As a child and then into later life for her career, Linda has travelled and moved extensively. However, she's been settled in Edinburgh for the last 15 years. And now that her twin daughters, Julie and Fiona, as well as son James, are all grown up, she's ready to up sticks and move to the countryside.
It's a special place, but it's a little bit like having a circus on your doorstep sometimes.
All the time.
Because there's so much going on, it's almost becoming a bit more isolating for you, and what we'd like to do is find somewhere that is a little bit more inclusive.
Linda is particularly drawn to Oxfordshire, where she spent her first days in the UK with her grandmother in Banbury, and so the area brings back many memories.
The first time I came to England from Africa, I was able to run on green grass for the first time. It made a big impression on me, the smell of spring flowers and birds singing it. I just couldn't believe it. The landscape is familiar to me. I feel as if I'm going home.
A year ago, Linda had a hip replacement, and so she's been finding her B&B work increasingly demanding. And although she's on the mend, she's keen to give up that side of her business so she can immerse herself into local life somewhere close to Thame, where Julie's sister Fiona lives.
Being part of a community, helping people, being helped by people, that's what makes us all tick, isn't it? Liking and being liked.
You're wonderful.
Yeah.
And you have a lot to offer a small community.
Yeah.
You do.
I know.
Living up on the second floor, Linda hasn't had her own garden for 15 years and, being naturally green-fingered, she can't wait to get her hands dirty again.
Every time I say the word, just say the word garden, I get this rush of emotion to the stomach. It's really tangible when you think about something that you haven't had for a long time that you love.
And with Julie by her side, Linda's confident that their close relationship will help guide her through the next chapter of her life.
I think this move will change your life. It's just a house, but actually it's a community, it's an environment, it's a way of life. I think it'll be great. I am very keen to see you in the right place.
Oh, yeah. i.e. 7 hours away from you.
Linda is fairly open to living anywhere in Oxfordshire, as long as it's within an hour's drive of her other daughter, Fiona, who lives in Tame. I'm meeting up with both Linda and Julie on the attractive village green of Warborough to pinpoint exactly what Linda's after from her new home in the country.
Well, Linda and Julie, welcome to Oxfordshire. We haven't picked the sunniest of days, but it's not going to deter us, is it?
No, absolutely.
So, Linda, this move is all about you, isn't it? And you brought lovely Julie along, your daughter, to help with this search. So recently you've actually moved. Your flat is just about to go through in Edinburgh. And you've already moved to the county, haven't you, in the last few days?
Yes, yes.
So you're renting.
Renting a very nice little place.
Goodbye to the splendid apartment in Edinburgh and hello what? What is it exactly you're after? What does it look like in your mind?
Completely blank, I have no idea.
Let's start with the bedrooms then.
2.5 bedrooms.
And who's the half a bedroom for?
James, my son, he'll come and go.
He will, only half a bedroom. So you don't mind something quite small for him, like a box room?
That would be fine, he'd be happy with that. And I need a place for visitors, friends, and also for a student.
You have them weekly, monthly, and they come to stay with you, is that correct?
Yes, it's called an immersion course. So the point is they don't have access to their own language, so they have to speak English.
What about a garden?
I know that I want an established herbaceous border, or to establish something. Obviously pretty flowers and some vegetables.
Julie, how important do you think it is for your mum to have sort of friends, neighbours on her doorstep?
Being in a smaller place, my hope for you is that you'll make closer friends and kind of get involved in more things than maybe you did in the big city. Local things.
Yeah. Now, remind me of how much we've got to spend here in Oxfordshire. What's the budget?
475,000.
I was worried about managing your expectations because you're coming from this beautiful, very large, spacious Georgian flat. Moving to Oxfordshire. Am I allowed to use the D word, downsizing?
Yes, why not?
Yeah,
Sensible.
are you happy with that?
Yep, it's
And do you think
sensible.
mentally you're prepared for it?
I think it could be very cosy.
Moving to Oxfordshire, you know, if you were to look at a property, say, in an area like this, you've got this wonderful space, you've got the village green behind us, the pub, thatched cottages. Is this what you've got in mind?
It could well be. It's got a lot to offer.
Do you think she'd like something like this, your
Yeah,
mum?
I think it's lovely. I'd certainly like to come and stay.
Would you? Well, that's jolly good, because guess what? Our first property is literally behind that tree, behind that church, house number 1. Shall we go?
Yeah,
come on.
So, armed with a budget of up to £475,000, Linda is looking for a 2 to 3 bedroom property which can accommodate a living student. Ideally, she'd like to have an established garden, and the location would be within a village, and no more than an hour's drive from Julie's twin sister, Fiona. We've got a range of period properties lined up that reflect Oxfordshire's pretty past. And at the end of the tours, I'll be asking our house hunters to guess the price of each. Our final stop is the Mystery House, made to challenge expectations, but which may make our buyer reassess what she actually wants from a property. We're beginning our search south of the county in Warborough. Regarded as one of the finest village greens in the country, Warborough Green is nestled within a protected area of conservation. This idyllic village setting, surrounded by open countryside, also benefits from a tight-knit social scene, hosting a plethora of local groups and events which could be just the escape from city living that Linda is after. Located within the village but hidden down a quiet lane is house number 1.
So how would this work as potentially the first property?
Looks very sweet. It looks well loved.
Do you like it, Julie?
I really like it. I like the colours and I like the proportions. I like the sensitive extension. Really nice.
Well, let's see what you make of the property. Shall we, girls?
Can't wait.
This charming character property dates back to the mid-18th century and spent its former years as a gardener's cottage to the neighbouring property on the same lane. It was renovated in 1997 when the garage was converted into a country kitchen diner. So welcome and step inside the cottage.
Wow.
Oh,
Isn't it sweet?
I think it's a lot larger than it appears.
it does feel bigger inside than I expected from the outside.
If you had someone coming for dinner, they could just sit down straight away.
I think it already feels like your kitchen.
Well, it's very similar to my kitchen.
Is it?
Yeah.
And a large dining table. I'm thinking potentially you could actually have study in here as well.
Most students are quite happy with the kitchen.
Are they?
Yes.
And James could fit in it, so it's got actually quite a high ceiling,
Oh,
hasn't
right,
it?
yeah.
Is this your son?
Yes,
Yes.
he's about this high.
Shall we continue?
It's lovely.
So you've got doors here, which from a practical point of view, if you've got a student, quite good because you can close off the rooms.
Yes.
It does lead to this, well, I think rather lovely sitting room.
Yeah, really sweet.
Definitely, it's gorgeous.
It's got a lovely cosy feel, hasn't
There's
it?
clapboard wall and a stove.
So far, so good?
So
Yes.
far, so lovely.
Definitely, really lovely.
Do you think Mum would be happy here?
I can imagine her here.
Good.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Let's continue. Also on the ground floor, there's a single bedroom and study, which could be useful in accommodating a student, as it comes with its own separate access. Up on the first floor, there are a further 2 bedrooms, 1 single and 1 double, and also a family bathroom. So upstairs, being a cottage, quite steep stairs coming up. How did you feel getting up those stairs?
It's okay, all stairs are stairs.
Yeah?
And the handrail's there and it's a solid one.
Yes. This is the main bedroom.
Lovely light.
Well, let's step back outside,
Yes.
take a look at the garden, and also, really, how much you think it's on the market for. Julie, if you wouldn't mind leading the way, thank you. All positive so far, but after 15 years without a garden, I wonder if this one is going to meet Linda's expectations. So a very cute cottage, which leads us into, I think, an equally desirable garden.
It's very sweet and, again, much loved and cared for. A little bit small for me.
Yes, but if you look at it, they've done it very cleverly so that you don't have to do very much in this garden at the moment. But if you actually look at the space you've got, you could change it quite a lot. It's a reasonable size.
That bed there would be perfect for establishing a whopping herbaceous border.
A whopping herbaceous border. You've also got 2 sheds.
2 sheds.
Not just 1, 2. Now, what you could perhaps do is take those down and get a larger wooden structure and have that for storage.
Or maybe open-sided for
But also sitting out here.
dining.
Yeah. Is this the type of garden that actually would work for you? And I know the dream is perhaps have a little bit larger, but...
The thing is, I'm really good on my knees. I'm not very good at walking, but scrabbling about in a flower bed, I can do that.
Yeah?
You just put knee protectors on.
And you're away?
I'm fine.
OK, well, fair enough. Let's talk about the price, then, for our first cottage. What do you think it's on the market for?
This location is lovely and it's probably worth 450,000.
I think 450 is quite conservative. So probably over budget, given the area, and this is a lovely little cottage and garden.
Give me a price.
485?
The asking price is £450,000.
Oh, well done.
Thank you.
That is clever. Well, that's a lovely surprise for me as well.
So I think a really strong start with our house hunt here in Oxfordshire. £25,000 under budget, this sympathetically extended cottage with 3 bedrooms and a manageable garden is located within a stunning village setting. What's more, it's just a 25-minute drive from Linda's daughter Fiona in Tame.
Coming into this first 2 rooms is just beautiful. It's a real wow. My one-to-one immersion student. We could easily have lessons in the kitchen with the natural sunlight.
There is that whole separate section with a bedroom in it and its own little corridor, so that creates a bit of privacy for another person.
When I saw the garden, to me that's kind of a city garden. A perfect city garden, but that's not a country garden in my head.
I really like the feel of it. I can imagine Mum living in it, but I can't imagine all of her stuff being here too.
I've already got rid of, what, 500 books?
You will get rid of the right things if it's the right place.
Yes.
How
how are we?
Hello. It's getting sunnier and sunnier.
I know, it's lovely. The sun is shining on us. It's trying to convince you to buy this property, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good start.
It's a very good start.
Yeah, you happy?
Yes.
Pleased with what you've seen so
Yes,
far?
yes.
That is the best news, because I've still got more to show you.
Excellent.
Come on.
Thank you.
Renowned worldwide for academia, Oxfordshire is home to the oldest university in the English-speaking world. Stretching across the county, education is paramount and the landscape is peppered with schools. In the picturesque village of Marcham, one institution in particular has been educating since 1948. The Denman College is owned by the Women's Institute and was bought collectively by the organisation through donations to offer a range of courses for members as well as the general public. We've sent Linda and Julie to meet Chair Anne Harrison to find out more about the largest voluntary women's organisation in the UK.
You're interested in the WI, I hear?
Of course, yes, I am.
Yeah, so do you know much about it?
It must have been started during the war.
Because it was wartime, they wanted to help the war effort, and one of the things they could do from rural communities was, of course, use the fruits in their gardens and hedgerows, and we started making jam. So the WIs took on this production, and it went right through from the First World War and into the Second too.
The WI actually began its life in Canada, inspired by a talk given by Adelaide Hoodless in 1897. Sadly, she had lost a child who drank contaminated milk, and so was determined other mothers did not suffer the same fate through ignorance of poor food hygiene. Today, the WI still fights for issues close to their female members' hearts.
We've campaigned on milk, tried to help dairy farmers because of the cost of milk and the cost of producing it. We've had organ donation, encouraging people to leave instructions, what they want. We were the people who started off the Keep Britain Tidy campaign.
That's really taking off now.
Yes.
The WI movement came to Britain in 1915 and is celebrating its centenary. Here at Denman College, there are 650 courses, ranging from cooking to astronomy. Linda and Julie are joining a couple of local members to learn how to make a silver clay pendant with jewellery designer Melanie Blake.
You're all going to be designing your own pendants, so they're all going to be different at the end, but there'll be something like this one here.
Invented in Japan just 20 years ago, silver clay is a revolutionary putty made from tiny silver particles mixed with an organic binder, which when heated to reduce the moisture content, reveals pure silver. It's extremely versatile and easy to work with. The ladies are rolling out the putty to form the beginnings of a pendant.
Oh, yours has gone much longer than mine. I've got a really
Just
squashy one.
roll it a bit harder. Press it a bit harder, Julie.
Come on, put some welly into it.
Just place the texture sheet on top of the clay and then just rub it on with our fingers. Then, when we peel away the texture sheet, we should find that all that lovely pattern
Oh, that looks really nice.
is now on the silver clay.
Oh, wow, yours is good.
After making a hole in the pendant, it's given a blast of hot air with a hairdryer before getting fired in a kiln at 800 degrees for 8 minutes to dry out. Once fired, the pendants are plunged into cold water to cool them down.
The only reason that this white surface is not looking silver and shiny is just simply because the surface isn't polished. And we can start this very, very easily just using the wire brush.
Oh my goodness. It's like discovering gold.
Oh, yes, but it's discovering silver.
Finally, by tying a ribbon through the hole in the pendant, the new necklaces are complete.
You've done really well.
Well, thank you very much. We've had such a lovely afternoon,
was
and it's
lovely.
nice to have something to take away to remember what we've done.
Our house hunt continues in the village of Launton. Originally an area steeped in farming and agriculture, today the hub of the busy community here centres on the 2 pubs and village hall. There's also a local store, post office and farm shop, as well as sheep rearing fields, all within a stone's throw, giving Linda everything she needs for country living on her doorstep. On the edge of the village is our second property.
it's, be fair to say, quite different from the first house that we showed you. Main thing is...
It's on the road.
It is on a road. So there's a practical side to being on the road. There's a slightly noisier side to being on the road, isn't it? What do you think?
Very nice stone. Nice jasmine growing up the wall.
From a business point of view, your students can easily get to Oxford.
Yes.
20 minutes on the bus. They also might like the fact that Bicester is 5 minutes in the car down the road, which, as I'm sure as ladies you know, high-end retail shopping, one of the biggest in Europe. It really is. So from a marketing point of view, that's quite an attraction.
Yes.
Should we see what you make of the property?
Yes, can't wait.
Although 200 years old, this cottage has been thoroughly modernised throughout by the current owners to a very high standard.
So step inside.
Wow.
I really like it, don't you?
I love it.
We both seem pleasantly surprised as we walked through the door.
Very nice.
Yes, it is nice. They've done it really well. They've made the most of the space there.
Yep.
What do you think about the noise? Because it was a little bit noisy outside.
As soon as you close the door, you can't hear anything. It's amazing. Very quiet. I'd have to have the radio on.
Kitchens are important, we know. How does this one rate and feel?
Rate highly, and my table would fit. I mean, it would be, you know, more than that, but it would fit.
In a slightly different way, but it would work.
I like that. You two both looked at each other, nodded and smiled. That's enough for me. I'm going to move on. Let's go through here. There's a good hallway. Generous again. Slightly deceiving because
Wow.
it leads to another large area, sitting room.
This is a big room with a lovely little window under the lintel thing. And look, a little window seat.
Yes,
Well.
that's nice.
So this is your sitting room.
Yes.
But the house was extended about 15 years ago, and you have a very large conservatory with a heated floor.
And having this extra headspace at this end of the room gives
Makes
you...
it feel bigger.
That end feels cosy, but it doesn't feel enclosed. It's nice.
James could stand up here.
We could just make him have this end of the room.
I feel the sun is with us at all times,
Yeah.
isn't he? Because he's going to be coming to stay.
Well, yes.
Very different from where you currently have been living. How does it feel to you, Linda? Does it feel like a home?
Perfectly.
It does?
Perfectly.
I was worried that the next one would be much, much more modern. And this one's just become a little bit more modern, but without losing the cottagey feel.
Also on the ground floor, there's a separate study and a shower room, which could be useful for staying students. Then up on the first floor, there are 3 good-sized double bedrooms, 2 of which are currently decorated for young children, and all served by a tiled family bathroom.
Oh, wow.
So let me show you the master bedroom.
Look at that
lovely.
ceiling. Space. My wardrobe would fit.
Oh, we like
wardrobe
that.
would fit.
Anything, every time I hear you mention about your furniture fitting is a good sign.
Excellent.
Yeah?
Excellent, really nice.
Well, we've seen all inside. Outside now. OK, well, after you.
Thank you.
Let's see what you think.
With Linda and Julie making all the right noises, I get the impression that it's the garden which might just be the decision maker or breaker here.
Again, I'm going to say a modest-sized garden. Do you think this garden is ready for the Linda touch?
Yes.
Good.
Oh, good. That's a good response. Excellent.
It's a very good place to start, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
I don't have to mow very much.
No.
It's just such a lovely... I mean, listen to those birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at the sun at this time of day. That's gin and tonic o'clock, that is.
Yes.
Perfect. I'm now going to ask you what you think it's on the market for.
470,000.
Yeah, go on, let's be hopeful. Let's say it's on budget.
On budget. Would you be
It was
happy
meant to
if it
be.
was on budget?
I don't see why not.
Julie, well, how much do you think it's on the market for?
I'm going to say it's on budget. I'm going to say 475. Because it's just
Okay.
meant to be. It's meant to
Let's
be.
all cross our fingers. How would you feel if I said the asking price was £420,000?
What?
Really?
Yes. How do you feel?
I feel quite scared because I know I'm going to probably make an offer and it might not be the right thing, but I cantle stop myself.
We'll have a little think about
We're
it.
going to have a little think. I might
Head is where the head is.
Head, and I think we have the heart here, don't we?
do.
But I'm enjoying this.
My
so
business advisor will speak to me.
please take your business advisor with you. Have another look around, and well, give me a shout when you're ready.
Will do.
Thank you.
£55,000 below budget, This semi-detached cottage comes with 3 bedrooms and an established garden. It presents enough space for teaching and accommodating Linda's students, and the property is situated at the edge of the village, just a 25-minute drive to Thame.
It's so light in here, isn't it?
I do like this room. It's completely different from being in there. You've got your little kind of cosy cottage, and then you've suddenly got all this light and space.
This could be the doing things room with my bench and sewing and painting.
And it's a big space as well. You could actually do quite a lot in here, teaching. You know, you've got an extra kind of summer dining room almost.
And those doors open onto the garden.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Good.
I think this has got so much of what we want. Crucially, when you have a student, it's nice that he or she can have their own bathroom.
Yeah. There's a desk area there, or they can sit and work in there, and you can actually exist quite separately. Okay, so another bedroom.
Oh, sweet. Again, the high ceiling.
Yes. There's a lot of space in this bedroom.
The fact that it's significantly under budget makes me relax hugely about taking this step.
And actually, there's not huge money that needs spending on this place.
Oh, I could think of something. And look how it gets the afternoon sun. Nice little fireplace.
Yes, sweet.
Excellent.
Okay.
I love it.
I like that smiling face, Linda. That's a good sign. And have you seen enough, both of you?
Yes,
I think so.
Well, that's day 1 of our house hunt over. It's been pretty successful, and we've got more to show you tomorrow.
Very exciting.
Good, let's go.
It's the second day of our property search in Oxfordshire with Linda and her daughter Julie. Having recently moved from Edinburgh, Linda has a budget of £475,000 and she's itching to find her new home in the countryside. Coming up, our mystery property offers more than Linda bargained for.
What about a summer house?
Wow!
And I find out why, despite his millionaire status, motoring mogul William Morris kept his feet firmly on the ground.
He mended his own shoes.
That says it all, doesn't it?
It does.
With yesterday's second property being such a strong contender, I think we can take a little bit of a gamble with our mystery house, which may challenge Linda on character, but could offer her more privacy away from her living student. And if this viewing goes well with Linda and Julie, well, then the drinks are going to be on me. So we're on our way now to our mystery house, driving through some spectacular villages. In your heart of hearts, what are you hoping it might be?
Something I can respond to. I'm really open.
What if it was a tiny modern house in a huge garden?
Okay.
What if?
I would look at the garden first.
Julie, what do you think we've got in store with our mystery house?
I'm really excited because I think it'll be quite different from what we've seen. And I wonder whether we're going to go right to the other end and have something that's very old-fashioned, or to the opposite end of the spectrum, something that's quite modern. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited to see Mum's point of view challenged.
I'm still not, I'm going to be honest, entirely clear what it is you're after.
Well, that's
Is that
because
two
I'm
of us?
not.
Yeah.
That makes 2. That makes 3 of us.
Yeah, I don't think it exists, but that's okay.
Well, let's see if our mystery house gets the closest.
For our final property, we're heading to Charlton on Otmore. Dominated by the large 13th century Church of St Mary, the village actually belongs to one of the 7 towns that encircle Otmore, formerly 400 acres of wetland which were drained during the Enclosure Act of 1815. The British Centre here is host to an array of period properties, as well as a local pub, and our mystery property is just a short walk away.
So, might be a chilly start to our house hunt here, but this is your mystery house.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Hello.
right. That's really pretty.
Isn't it sweet?
So any idea, ladies, why it is our mystery house?
It's got the bar.
It looks like an
Sticking
old
out.
pub sign, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you would be right. So it has plenty of character, plenty of charm, and perhaps the size that we haven't managed to achieve with our previous properties.
Ooh, great.
Shall we step inside?
Yes, definitely.
Built in the 17th century, this former pub was transformed into a home during the 1980s, but the arrangement of the property still reflects its commercial past. It's also very spacious, so if Linda keeps an open mind, this could provide her with everything she's hoping for.
So, of course, the first thing that I do have to mention is there's a perfectly good front door there, but we are in the country. Everyone likes to use the side door instead.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not? We'll follow the trend. Opens up straight into this lovely large reception room, sitting room, dining room.
Pretty.
Yes, plenty of space.
The bar was here, apparently, and it's been converted into a family home.
And it still works, doesn't it?
Yeah. You can feel the period that it was built in.
But you could also put your contemporary stamp on it.
Yes. So
Yes,
it's not a
I could.
scary thought?
Not at all.
Good.
I like it. I need to know what you think.
Yeah, I love this room.
One thing I'd love to point out, though, can you see the brass plaque? That's an original pillar, the timber frame, and that was all boarded up. And when the current owners exposed it, because they wanted to make this a little bit more open plan, that's been there since the 1850s.
Wow.
And it's from the landlord asking the coachman not to harness or saddle their horses until after light has broken.
Oh, right.
In the
Oh, that's
daylight
nice.
hours, yes. That was under the plaster.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. Do we like?
Yes, we do.
Do like.
Oh, I'm so pleased, because with the mystery, we were going to push you, and I wondered if this was going to be a step too far.
I love this room. It's gorgeous.
Previously a public house, the layout of the mystery property is rather unique. Each of the ground floor rooms have a few steps separating them.
Can I introduce you to the saloon bar? This was the posh bit.
Oh, right, okay.
That's the drinking pub, and I have it on good authority from the owners at the moment, but this was the saloon bar, which has been made into a kitchen.
It's lovely.
Yes, very nice.
And then straight ahead of us, a rather modern conservatory. Great space for your hobbies, for your painting.
Yeah. It's a second sitting room almost, isn't it?
Yes.
We're going to go back down those few stairs and then back up a few more
Okay.
to see the bedrooms.
Great.
All right?
Thank you.
On the first floor, there are 2 bedrooms, one of which is a large double, as well as a bathroom. Then up in the attic, there's a further double bedroom with an ensuite, but we're heading for the first floor master.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, a little sort of dressing room.
Which leads us into the master bedroom, or Linda's bedroom.
It's a good size. Well, you don't need any more space than the bed if you've got your wardrobe and chest of drawers there.
That would work well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So I think we should go back downstairs to the all-important garden, talk money, and then I'm going to allow you both to come in together, explore, and that's when we'll send Julie upstairs to take a look around.
Interesting. Thank you.
Okay.
Super.
Linda and Julie seem to be quietly taking in the space on offer here, but I know Linda can't wait to see the garden.
I've been a little bit naughty, because we know the garden's important, but what about a summer house?
Wow.
That's really
Barbecue,
lovely.
whatever the weather.
Yeah?
That's where James can live.
No more smelly sock problems.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. You said he's got lots of, what is it, cricket gear, sports equipment.
yeah.
So what do you both think of the garden?
It's bigger than you think because of the number of areas they've got for doing things in. It's interesting. It's amazing the amount of space there is.
What price are we going to put on our mystery house?
I'd be inclined to go around 450.
OK, that's Julie's answer. Linda?
452.
You two are joined at the hip in more ways than one, aren't you? Well, that's interesting, because the asking price is £485,000.
Gosh, OK.
So we did just mention to the owners that your budget was 475, and they would look at offers in that region.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah. It does have to work for you. I think it's worth another look around.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Although on the market for £485,000, the owners of our mystery house would be open to offers at the top of Linda's budget. This quirky, spacious former pub has 3 bedrooms, a good-sized garden with summer house, and it's all set within a village location, less than half an hour from Linda's other daughter in Thame.
OK. So, yeah, it gets a little bit low here, but it's almost like a kind of mezzanine room. But then this huge bathroom.
And is the ensuite in its own little room with a door?
Yes, it's
Okay.
completely separate. And it's about the same length as the bedroom. So we've got 3 bedrooms, we've got something that would be suitable as a kind of independent unit for a student. There's a bigger garden here than we've seen before. The way that you'd end up living in it is that you'd actually use 2 or 3 rooms and you'd avoid going to certain parts of the house because it was a little bit more difficult for you. The house might be wasted on you.
I agree. It's not too much for me in terms of size. It's because it's on so many levels. It's the levels that would get me in the end, I think.
Can't believe that was our final house tour.
I know.
Did we end on a high? Not quite so sure.
No, it's lovely for somebody else, but not really for me.
Well, there you go, there's the answer. But you've got 2 other houses to consider.
Yep.
Should we go somewhere you can have a few moments on your own and then we should have a chat?
That sounds a good idea.
Very
Yeah?
good.
Yeah, lovely.
It was within the gently rolling hills of the Oxfordshire Chilterns that one of the country's leading industrial figures, William Morris, set up home. Although he was born in Worcester, the William Morris name is inextricably linked to the county through the vehicles he manufactured in Oxford. But Morris and his wife Elizabeth preferred to live away from the confines of the city. Despite amassing a fortune, they chose a relatively modest abode in a village just outside Henley. I've come to Nuffield Place to find out more about the man, his manor, and how Morris's motorcars changed the world. I'm meeting classic car enthusiast Peter Venables.
So what do we have here in front of us today? This is your car, I believe.
It is. It's a 1925 Morris Cowley, and it's called a Doctor's Coupe.
You think of William Morris and you instantly think of the car industry, but what impact did he have on it at that time? Why did he make such a difference?
Went into mass production. He went to America to see how they were doing things there and realised that was the way to go. And in doing so, he went for the bull-nosed Morris, and that style of car, shaped like a bullet, I think, is the front, which lasted from 1913 to 1926.
He wanted to achieve a car that most people could afford.
That's right, yes. He wanted to achieve a £100 car, and he did actually achieve that in 1931.
With which model?
The first Morris Minor.
The one that we all know and love.
When Morris and his wife Elizabeth moved to Nuffield Manor in 1933, they wanted to put their stamp on the property. Lord and Lady Nuffield, as they came to be known, furnished it with reproductions and customised pieces made in Morris's own factory.
Hi.
Hello, Nikki. Welcome.
House manager Joanna Gamestar is giving me a guided tour.
It feels a very comfortable room. It doesn't feel too over the top. For a multi-millionaire, this is not the sitting room I would expect him to have.
You're quite right. It's very modest, considering his great wealth. He was one of the richest men in the world, actually, at the time.
So no great manor houses or castles for him, which is probably the equivalent of what someone would do today.
That's
it's
right.
actually a beautiful family home.
Yes, it's the sort of thing that a doctor or solicitor may have lived in at the time.
It hasn't changed at all?
Well, one of the things that Lord Nuffield did was he left his house to Nuffield College in Oxford when he died, and he asked them to preserve it as he had left it.
We get a snapshot of what life was like in the 1930s.
We do indeed, yes.
I mean, one thing that's caught my eye is the signed photo.
That's a picture of the Queen Mother.
Yes,
But she was Queen Elizabeth at the time. She sent those photographs out to various important people, and Lord Nuffield, she particularly liked him because he gave money to some of her charities.
It should come as no surprise that the Nuffields' bedroom continued their preference for modesty. The floor is thought to have been carpeted with offcuts from the Morris factory.
Talking of wealth, I mean, the factories around the world were doing so well. Do we have any idea just how successful the factories were?
The factory was making £2,000 a day.
In the 1930s?
Yes.
Which equates to something like £100,000 a day now. So he amassed this vast wealth, millions and millions of pounds. It's obvious he didn't spend it on himself, and his wife, obviously, of the same mind. Where did the money go?
Well, to start with, he kept feeding it back into the business, and so the business grew and prospered. But eventually, he gave money to education, to the distressed areas, lots of huge amounts of money, things like setting up the Nuffield Foundation, which still gives away a great deal of money today.
But at the end of the day, he liked the small pleasures in life, didn't he?
He certainly did. He liked his smoking, he liked to walk the dog.
And he likes to tinker, I believe. Is that true?
You're right. And there's something very special here that you ought to see.
Go on. Now, I'm presuming this is a cupboard with clothes in?
No, you'd be surprised. This, in his bedroom, is his tool cupboard.
That is remarkable. Here in his bedroom, he could sit and all his tools are out.
That's right, yes.
He obviously liked It's binoculars looking out onto the woodland. But we have the conventional stuff that you would see in any shed, don't you, in here?
That's right, yes. And he's got a shoe last and some sticker soles, so he mended his own shoes. We know that he did a bit of tinkering with clocks.
That says it all, doesn't it?
It does, that's right.
My goodness, and this is exactly as he left it.
Yes.
Put it back just as it was.
It's both his classic cars and his charities that are Morris's enduring legacy. He was one of the country's leading industrialists, as well as one of Britain's greatest philanthropists.
Well, that's it for our house hunt here in Oxfordshire with Linda. Now, we know the mystery house has been completely ruled out, but what about the other 2 properties we showed her? Well, let's find out. Hear what she's got to say. Well, ladies, Linda, this is a big move. I wonder how we've done for you over the last few days. Got to ask, Oxfordshire, still the place you want to live?
Definitely.
I wonder, out of everything that we've shown you, our 3 properties, have we got close?
Definitely,
I
yes.
think so,
We like
yeah.
the second house very much.
Both of you?
Yes, love it.
What is it about the second property? Because it was a period cottage, had much more of a contemporary style inside. We did notice is that it is on quite a busy road.
Once the doors and windows are closed, you're not too aware of it.
It was totally quiet.
And your focus is very much towards the back of the house where the garden is.
2 lots of French doors facing the back.
You feel you've got that inside-outside living.
Yeah. And the bedrooms were tall enough.
The bedrooms were tall, and then you've got that winter cosy sitting room with a lower ceiling, which is really sweet.
I'm sold. Sitting here, I'm sold.
I'm a little bit worried about that step into the conservatory.
So what do you think the answer is?
We think we can find a way round that with a mobile half step.
Yes.
And a post to hang on to.
I think that's a great idea. It's also going to work rather well for when you decide to have a live-in student for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, because he's got his own shower room, which is great, because I don't want a shower room. He can have that. And the bathroom was amazing.
So you're getting excited about this house. Both of you are very energised. You can see you love it. So how much do you love it? Are we talking second viewing? Are we thinking of putting in an offer?
Definitely second viewing.
That's excellent news.
Yeah. And I think that the addition of my sister, if that gets the seal of approval, that may push us a little bit further, mightn't it?
Yeah.
I hope the second viewing goes extremely well and that your sister loves it as much as you 2 do. Fingers crossed you could be moving in very soon. Very best of luck.
Thank you.
And keep in touch, won't you?
Thank you very much, Nikki, for all your hard work.
You're welcome. It's been a steep learning curve for Linda. It all started off rather vague. She wasn't sure what she wanted, and let's be honest, nor were we. But I think the last few days has given her a certain clarity as to what she wants and what she actually needs. Well, that's it from Oxfordshire for this week, but I'll see you again soon on Escape to the Country.
If you would like to escape to the country in England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland and would like our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/Be On A Show.